Hello, happy Monday. It is my normal everyday live that I do once a week, every Monday. So we are gonna do how to use your Saint palette. I've had a lot of you guys grabbing the Saint palette, and I'm gonna explain it to you, but a lot of you don't know how to use it. So we're gonna go and do a quick Saint tutorial. It is noon, it's almost 1 here, and I still don't have any makeup on. So I felt like I'm gonna do my makeup, let's just do it together. So jump on, say hi, tell me what you're up to today. This week is really busy. I have 2 weeks until my son graduates. He's a senior, and I'm sure a lot of you have either kids graduating, kids ending school. It's just kind of a crazy time. So this is the easiest makeup. So if you are someone who wants fast, easy makeup, Saint makeup is awesome. I've been using it for 6 years. It is all cream based, and I'm gonna be using the palette 8 today. So what you can do is when I post this video, you can comment the word match, and I will send you my free color match form. Then we'll fill it out, you fill it out, I give you my recommendations, and I tell you what level you are, and you can grab either a pre-made collection or you can customize one on your own. So it's pretty cool because these are all customized tints. They pop in and out of the compact, so when you are done with them, all you have to do is pop that one out and replace it. It's super, super easy. So if you've used Saint before, drop in the comments what you like about it. So let's get started. I am a level 3 for reference. I get that question a lot. Level 3 is Athens, Candlelit, and White Peach. I like this one because you have multiple foundation options. You have a contour. You have, can't get that open, 2 lip and cheek colors, an illuminator, and a bronzer. Yeah, did I say that? Bronzer, contour. So you get both. So if you comment match now, though, I won't be able to send anything to you. So just wait till I post this on my page, and then I'll send you my free color match form. So we're gonna just get started really fast. I'm gonna put on some sunscreen. This does not have SPF in it. In fact, if you're using a foundation that has SPF in it, 9 times out of 10, it's not even enough. So I always apply my sunscreen first, and then this is what is this called? Sun Glow. It's their Glowy Super Gel. I like to add this because it just gives me a little color to the skin. And I just use my hands, which are clean, to rub that in. It's gonna help just kind of create some evenness. I am 44 years old, so I do have maturing skin. So I love this makeup, especially if you're like me. I struggled for a very long time finding makeup that would work for my mature skin. I felt like everything showed texture and dryness. And Saint is a cream-based makeup, and it just doesn't do that for me, and it doesn't do that for any of my customers if you're using the right color. If you're not using the right color, anything will show texture, but this is so forgiving because it absorbs into the skin, and it doesn't sit on top like regular foundation does. Hi, Haley, how are you? Okay, so once that kind of settles down, I'm gonna let that just soak for a minute. We're gonna go in with our cream-based makeup. So I wanna show you the brushes that I'm using. So I'm using the detail brush, and I'm using the blush and bronzer brush. These are 2 of my favorites. Let me explain why. So this one is the detail brush. This one is really great because it has a flat part to the top of it, and then it has kind of this flat side, so it makes it really easy to contour, and then it has this small brush side that you can get right under the eyes. So all of Saint's brushes are double-ended, which is great because you can basically, for the price of 1 brush, you get 2 brushes. So it's pretty nice, and these just work so well with the cream makeup. So let's get started. Everything's absorbed enough into the skin. I already have my skincare on too. I like to always say that. But we're gonna start with, let's start with some bronzer first because I wanna even out my texture. So listen, I'm 44 years old, I'm in perimenopause, I am in the thick of my hormone cycle of just being everything really crazy, and I have got some acne, I've got some uneven texture. I wanna show you that just so you see what I'm covering. I've got some hormonal acne down there. So I always start with bronzer to even everything out. So this is a really good trick, no matter what makeup you're using, to use a bronzer if you wanna even out kind of uneven texture on the skin. So I'm using my hand as a palette, so I don't go straight onto the face with all of that product, and I'm just gonna kind of work it through this area right here that tends to be a little more textured. And this is also really great because it will make sure that I don't have to layer my makeup, because as we know, the more you layer your makeup, the more textured it's gonna show. So the less we can layer, the better. And cream, like I said, is just really forgiving. It just evens everything out and it acts like a second layer of skin. So when my face moves, this is gonna move with it versus being on the top of the skin. So I'm just gonna add that just in the areas I wanna add a little bit of color. Oh, Haley, I'm so glad that my perimenopause posts are helpful. I feel like when I was going through it 2 years ago, when really in the thick of it, no one was talking about it. So I love seeing like more creators talk about it and using their platforms, because when I was going through it, it was really a hard, lonely time. And so I'm so glad that they're helpful. And I really believe sharing our stories is so, so powerful. So, okay, so I've got the bronzer on. A lot of times I literally in the summer will just wear a bronzer. I love this bronzer. It's Bella bronzer, but like it just gives such a nice glow to the face. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in with my foundation. Now I have 3 different foundation shades. So if you were like me, from the generation of we always just bought 1 bottle of liquid foundation and we tried to match it to our skin, it just looks not natural, right? If you were to look at your skin in the mirror, you have lots of different colors in the skin. So I like using at least 2 shades of a foundation concealer, sometimes 3 depending on your skin. So for me, what I do is I have the level 3, like I said, this is the palette 8. I take the darkest color and the middle color and I actually mix them because I'm not quite one or the other color. So I just kind of take it like this, and these will melt too. So if you're feeling like it's not spreading evenly, you can actually kind of just use a hairdryer to warm it up. But I'm gonna start at the bottom of my face and you can see that's a really good match. And I'm going to push it into the skin. So if you just got your palette and you're not sure how to apply, you definitely wanna make sure you're pushing the makeup into the skin, because it does act like a second layer of skin. Now I'm doing this really like, I don't really care. I'm just kind of just pressing it on. I'm not being super accurate because I will show you how we clean it all up later. And I like to use my hand, like I said. I don't want to go on with too much product onto the skin. You can make this makeup as light or as full coverage as you want, and it doesn't matter the makeup. It really matters the brush you're using. Yeah, it does, Haley. It gives really nice coverage. But the one I'm using right now, this is kind of like a medium coverage. We do have one that's more full coverage. And creams, I always thought creams would feel really heavy on the skin. They don't. If you're applying it incorrectly, it will feel heavy, but it actually should feel like nothing's on the skin, which is really, really great because I'm not someone who likes to feel makeup on the skin. I like it to feel very light. And so I like how just easy this is. So I'm just kind of filling in. I'm leaving my under eyes alone and kind of filling in around the bronzer and just getting that coverage. So you can just see how that makes my skin glow. Creams are gonna give you that added glow, which we lose as we age, and it's going to just kind of just make it look like your own skin, but better. If you get oily as the day goes on, so a couple of things with cream makeup if you are oily. One, you're gonna wanna use a primer. So a primer is going to help a lot with kind of gripping the makeup onto the skin. I like the Milk Makeup or e.l.f. Power Grip Primer, both great options for oily skin. And then you can definitely want to use a setting spray. No matter if you're oily or dry, use a setting spray. A matte option is obviously better if you are oily. I like to use a dewier one because I'm not oily. And then also using a powder. So you do a little bit different steps if you are oily, but I have lots of customers that use this that love it, that have oily skin. So I'm gonna just go on with a little bit more bronzer. Just kind of even everything out. Once again, I'm not layering, I'm just going right back on to where I already had that. And it should feel very light. I like to bring it along the bridge of the nose. Just like that. So my skin looks just very natural. It looks like my skin. And especially as we age, that's really an important thing for me, is that my skin still looks like me, but just with a little more coverage. So this kit also comes with a contour. I like to take this flat end of this brush and kind of dip into the side. See where I put that? And your contour, if you think about kind of like if I was to draw a line from the edge of my nose to the tip of my ear, and then I could feel my cheekbone right here, right? I can feel that. I want to put it on the rounded part of my cheekbone. And for most people, whoops, I went on the wrong side because I'm talking. Most people, it's right about here. And this is a light contour that I'm using. Your contour Oh, hold on just a minute. I'm reading this. Would that be the same for the nose? Yeah, so the nose is a big one, right? And I feel like, I don't know about you, but I have noticed as I get older, my nose has more texture. So I actually try to not put as much product on my nose. But yes, what you would do is you would just set your nose with the primer. You would use the setting spray. That's all I use. But if you are more of an oily gal, I would definitely suggest just setting it with a little powder, and you should have no problem with that. This makeup, especially you don't want to use like a heavy layer. If you're using a heavy layer of makeup in general, no matter what you're using, it's going to come off. So I don't like to use heavy amounts on my nose. I just do enough that I get enough coverage. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. So you can see I'm just making this little line right here with my contour. For most people, it lines up right about here, and then I just make it to the edge of my eye. I don't want to sink in this area, so anywhere you use like a dark color, you're going to kind of sink in that area. So you don't want to do that if you are losing fullness. So I just kind of stamp that on, and I just build the color as I go. So if I'm like, oh, I want a little bit more, I just kind of come back in and build that way, okay? That's my contour. If you can paint by number this makeup, you can do this. And I'm gonna put a little bit right next to the hairline, and then I'm gonna bring a little bit right under the jawline. You can also contour your nose. There's so many options. I'm just like not doing too much. Here I want it to be a very natural look. Yeah, so it is really nice that you don't have to, like, this is like my whole makeup bag, which is really crazy, right? Because if I go travel somewhere, this is all I have to bring with a brush, and I'm done, and my setting spray. Like, that's it. And so I love that it just makes things so much easier. So I've got on my contour, and I'll show you. I just kind of, you can even, if you really want to contour your nose, just kind of bring it right on that shadowy part and just right here. We're doing a really easy contour, okay? Because I don't want to make anybody think they can't do it, because you really can. Then I'm going to take this brush. This is the Blush and Bronzer brush. Spray with some setting spray. And you might have seen me do this in videos before, but this is actually so nice because you're going to set your makeup at the same time you're blending. I'm going to start at the edge of the contour and just kind of go straight up to the temple. And then you can see my hand is kind of moving upwards, and that's all you have to do to blend out. You want to have a shadow. You don't want to have a definite line there. So just blending, and I'm tapping, and I'm just keeping it in line with my eye and then moving upwards. And then when I get up here, I'm going to pull it to the hairline. Now, if you have light hair like me, holding back your hair will help make sure you don't have that white line between your hairline. We've all seen that. Your scalp and your forehead. So just kind of pull the hair back like that. But that's going to give you that shadow to recede the forehead. And if you have a small forehead, you don't have to contour there. So that's the nice thing with contour is only meant to like recede areas of the face. So if you aren't trying to like make something look smaller, you don't need a contour there. So, and I'm just going to take this other side of my first brush and just kind of blend out the nose. So easy. Look how natural that looks. It's just so simple. Then you can go in with your blush, and I'm going to use the same brush. You can see I'm not going in with 1,000 different brushes. I only have 2. You can either mix and match your blushes, or you can use one color. I'm just going to kind of swirl it in there just to show you, like, seriously, this is like the easiest, okay? Put a little bit on my hand. I want to make sure I coat the brush. How do I deal with a double chin? Okay, so a double chin, if you have loose skin here, I will bring the contour down. That's going to create a shadow, which is going to pull back. So that would be what I would do, is I would just bring the contour a little bit lower, and then obviously make sure you blend it out. You don't want to have a line there. Now, with cream blushes, everyone gets a little nervous with cream blush because they look really pigmented, and they are, but they're not going to be, so you can see, it's a very natural color when I put it onto the skin. And I'm just going to tap that out, and you can build the color the more you just kind of put it on there. So I am mixing Hollywood and Candy, which are 2 of my favorites. And once again, I'm not being really crazy cautious. I'm just putting it on, okay? And then this is like one of the biggest tricks, okay? So if you have not noticed yet, I haven't done my under eyes. And the reason I haven't is because I'm gonna clean up anywhere that I made a little bit of a mistake. So I'm gonna go back in here with my lightest color. And once again, you can put the makeup on the brush. You can spray it. That's gonna hold it, so you don't even need powder. I'm gonna put a little bit in the inner corner, and then I'm gonna clean it up, just like that. So I made a line from the outer corner of the eye up. And I'm doing this so that I like to do this as my last step because it's just gonna clean up anywhere that I kind of got crazy and put too much on. You can also put a little bit right here, right underneath that contour and that blush and bronzer, and it's gonna clean it and it's gonna lift. You can put a little bit on the middle between the eyebrows. That's gonna give some light there. I like to put a little here. You can put a little down the nose. Anywhere you wanna add a little brightness, this last step is going to be really critical where you add that, okay? It's gonna clean everything up. So I'm gonna add a little more setting spray because I don't wanna have to set my makeup or redo my makeup. I'm gonna start here and I'm gonna just kind of pull that down, but also tap all the way to the mouth. And that is going to really clean, it's going to lift. And this is one of my favorite steps that I always say don't skip in your makeup routine. Like look how that already like pulled up that side. Hi Kelly, how are you? That already pulled that up and all I did was like add a little bit of brightening concealer there. So that's a step that I always say wait till the end and you can clean up everything. Just gives you that clean line. And then I'm just gonna spray my brush again. You can spray it as many times as you want. And I'm gonna come right here on the inner corner. So right in this area, a lot of us tend to get a little bit of kind of a bag there, a little inflammation. So I like to bring just a little bit of brightening up there. Yeah, isn't that crazy, Haley? I like to bring a little bit of brightening there. See how that lifts the eye just a little bit? And then whatever's left on my brush, I'm bringing under the eye. And then I'm going to clean up in this temple area. And the reason I put that light color right there is because we hollow. So we hollow here, so we are just going to put a little bit of brightener there and that's gonna just lift the face. Like, it's crazy, just a little bit. So when you're putting a concealer on, no matter what you're using, you wanna think of where do people look at my face and where do I really want to brighten that area? And so that's where I think of when I put this concealer on. So your brightener highlight, which is what we call it in Saint, is actually just a concealer. And you're just cleaning everything up. I'm just gonna put a little more in the hollow. And if you guys use Saint or you have questions, please ask. I would love, love, love to make sure I answer your questions. Now, if you have dark under eyes, you can definitely go in and you can color correct. I just wanna show you how easy this is. And then I'm just gonna kind of go back on, add a little more color. You can even go in with that blush and bronzer color and put a little on the lips. Now this is not a long wearing lipstick, so just know that that isn't going to stay. But I do like to put it on. I'm gonna show you one more thing too that I like that Saint has. Can you use it as an eyelid primer? You know, I see a lot of girls do that and I think it works fine. I, however, being 44, if you have texture on the lids and you're using your concealer as your eyeshadow primer, a lot of times it just kind of adds a lot of texture. So what I like to do is use a real eyeshadow primer and then I will set it with a little bit of translucent powder before I go on with my eye makeup, and that makes it look a lot more seamless and you don't have that texture buildup that sometimes concealer, if you put too much on or if it's a heavier formula, it can kind of make that texture look worse. So for me, I prefer an eyeshadow primer. I think it also grips better, especially if you're oily. I feel like it just holds everything better. So you can just see, like, this looks like my natural skin. Now I do have a blemish there and I didn't feel like I got enough coverage. So I'm just gonna go back in and I can just spot conceal. So that's why I like these brushes, because they're just so easy. You can just flip it over and just conceal. I've got another one, just a little bit. So that way you're not going on and adding like a whole nother layer to try to correct it. You're just getting enough on there that you're getting the coverage. So this is just a great formula, especially if you have mature skin. You can go in and kind of correct small areas if you feel like you need a little more coverage. But I love how glowy it makes, because especially as we age, we lose the brightness to our skin. We get more dull, and so this is gonna also help with that. Okay, last thing I wanna show you, and I haven't talked a lot about these, but I absolutely love them. They are the new lip tints from Saint. This one is in the color Pinky. It looks super scary, but like it gives a really pretty wash of color on the lips. And I think this one is so good for spring and summer. And the nice thing about this is that even though they don't say they're a stain, they do like almost stain the lips a little bit. So I find it's like a more long wearing formula. They have it in 4 different shades too. This one's my favorite, so pinky. Super pretty, and that's it. Now, would I probably spray my face again? Yes, I'm just using this one. This is the e.l.f. This is their Stay All Night Blue Light Micro Setting Mist. This one is very inexpensive. It's like $10, I think. So you just want to spray your face and it will stay on all day long, which is amazing. So this is, thank you, Tony. So this is the palette 8. You inside, once again, you get a bronzer, you get 3 colors of a concealer and foundation so you can mix and match to get the right look. And then you have your 2 lip and cheeks, an illuminator. Oh, I didn't show you the illuminator, and a contour. So the illuminator, this one's powder. I believe in the pre-made option, you do get a cream, but this one is powder, and you can use this as an eyeshadow too, but I just put this right above where my blush is. Oh, you're so welcome. I'm glad they help. I just put a little here, down the center of the nose. You can wear it as an eyeshadow, and just right here. And it just gives like that little added glow to the skin. Nothing crazy, nothing like shiny and sparkly, but just a really pretty color. So you get all of these in the palette 8. If you're not a makeup person and you're like, I don't think I would use all those shades, we have ones that have only 4 colors. And so it really is customized to your lifestyle. But when I travel, and I travel a lot, this is all I have to bring with me. And it has saved me so much room in my suitcase, but also like, I hate packing huge makeup bags with like all of these different things, and I have it all here. So I'm gonna post this on my main page. You just have to comment match. I will send you my free color match form. I then like literally will pick out the recommendations for you, make it so easy. You have my text, you can ask me questions, and then you can decide what is best fit for your lifestyle. So I hope this was helpful, and I hope you guys have the best day. Thanks for hanging with me. And once again, when I post this, if you have any questions, please just leave them there. I try to get right back to you. So, okay, appreciate you guys. Happy Monday. Bye.